Hey guys, Dr. J here. In the previous episode, we defeated the Penetrator and saved Bjorn of the Twin Fangs and Yuria the Witch. We now have access to all the Nexus vendors. Today we are going to learn all of the spells and miracles that are available to us during the first playthrough of the game. I've already duped all of our boss demon souls and also popped all of the itemized souls we had collected. We'll start off by going to Saint Urbane and learn all of the miracles he can teach us right now. There's one more hidden miracle that we'll have to learn before unlocking the Saint's trophy, but we'll need to do something before he can offer it. The only one of these miracles that we might consider memorizing is the God's Wrath. We can ignore the rest. I won't memorize it just yet, because that would mean I'll have to cycle through one more slot when changing the active spell/miracle.
God bless this brave warrior. Umbasa.
The next vendor will be Yuria the Witch on the other side of the Nexus. I will use this opportunity to talk to her and hear what she has to say, after learning all of her
Are you
spells.
certain you wish to learn witchcraft? It would honor me to assist one such as you, but... Are you sure?
Yep, I'm pretty sure. The only useful spell she has is the Firestorm. It is somewhat difficult to properly use, but is an insanely powerful spell. Too bad we won't have an opportunity to use it.
Once, I lusted after the power offered by demon souls. I ventured through the fissure into Boletaria, but became trapped in the Nexus. Then the King's executioner Meralda chained me up inside that tower. My thirst for demon souls is no more. On the contrary, I find such power dangerous. I feel great misgivings about Frake. I was branded a witch at a very young age, and since then, I have been persecuted as a threat to human society. Although I never had ill intentions, this black craft of mine is intrinsically evil. If there is a god, he gave us souls to do good, not to practice witchcraft. My accusers detested my dark arts for good reason, for the path I have taken is tainted. This has been one of my realizations since coming to Boletaria. But I am afraid that Frake too has ventured down the wrong path. He has become obsessed with the dark arts.
Interesting. So, Meralda killed Valorfax and imprisoned Yuria. She didn't seem all that powerful to me, to be honest. And Yuria worrying about Frake kinda reminds me of Big Head Logan. Anyway, it's time to learn all of Frake's spells as well. Unfortunately, even after learning all of his spells, we still won't be able to unlock the Sage's trophy. And unlike the Saint's trophy, we won't be able to unlock it in this playthrough. There is a certain demon soul we can obtain only at the very end of the game, when we won't have access to any of the vendors.
As you know, magic is one of the soul arts. The Scourge of Boletaria has activated all souls and energized all magic. Perhaps then we should work to preserve this state of heightened reality. No, heaven forbid. The demons steal souls, and with them our sanity. Such blasphemy must not be permitted. The demons, such... Bring me more... Bravo! I cannot expect to have my wish granted at so late an age. Thank you. You are a fine magician. As promised, let me teach you new magic.
Well, he sounds relatively sane right now, but I can see how close he is to turning psycho. Before we leave him, we should memorize the Poison Cloud spell, since we'll need to use it in this next part of the walkthrough. And the next part will involve hunting named Black Phantoms. We can only find those when the world is in pure black world tendency. We're currently in pure white in all 5 worlds, and we'll need to die 7 times in body form in each of them in order to change it to pure black. I'll be using all of our remaining souls to increase our vitality, since we'll be losing them anyway. Well, we don't have to lose them, but it would be a huge hassle to keep collecting our remains every time we die.
Do you intend to challenge the king? You may be a great demon hunter, but I fear you may not be ready. The king is defended by the black souls of mighty knights and a fire-breathing dragon. They defeated even myself. That's how I ended up in the dungeon. Beware the limits of your own power.
Looks like Bjorn finally accepted that King Allant was responsible for the demons.
But where?
Okay, we're done in the Nexus, so let's start our hunt for Black Phantoms. The first one is in 1-1. We'll change our rings to the Ring of Magical Sharpness and the Grave Robber's Ring. We need the Grave Robber's Ring so we can get as close as possible to the Black Phantoms without getting noticed. I'll also place our Stones of Ephemeral Ice in a quick use slot to make it easier to use. The fastest way to change the world's tendency to pure black is to find where the closest pit to the Arkstone is and run to it. In World 1's case, it's the bottomless pit left of the castle gate. I will show you where it is and then I'll do a jump cut to save you from watching me do the exact same thing 7 times. We'll just run past all of the Draglings. You might think that it may be faster to let them kill us, but our physical defense has increased so much that they're only going to do a tiny amount of damage to us. We'll now take a left here and then drop straight down the pit. And that's it. Like I said, it's pretty easy, but it will take a few minutes. Don't forget to always use a Stone of Ephemeral Ice after resurrecting at the Arkstone, since dying in soul form will not change the world's tendency. Okay, this was the last time we had to die. The world's tendency will not change while we remain in this world, so we'll first have to go back to the Nexus. Let's open the World's Tendency tab in the menu to make sure it's in pure black, and yes it is. Okay, we can teleport back to 1-1 and then go to the Execution Grounds, where we'll fight our first named Black Phantom. The Black Phantom we'll find there is Executioner Mirauda. She's much harder to kill in this form than when she was alive, and although we could fight her the same way we did last time, it will be a pretty difficult fight. We could absolutely use the soul remains to kill her, but there's an even easier method. As long as we have the Grave Robber's Ring, we'll be able to approach her without aggroing her and use the Poison Cloud spell. Using that spell will not make her attack us, and we can just wait until her health drops low enough to die from a couple of soul rays. We should be careful, however, since if she dies from the effect of the Poison Cloud, our character tendency will not change. And I just realized I never explained why we need to kill these Black Phantoms. Besides the world tendency, there is also something called character tendency. We need to shift it to pure white in order to receive a ring from the Monumental. The only way to make it pure white is by killing these named Black Phantoms. Okay, we've nearly reached Mirauda. All of the Black Phantoms we'll fight are located at nearly the exact same spot they were in body form. We'll cast the Poison Cloud spell 2 times. I mean, we'll cast it once and then wait until its poison effect expires and then cast it once more. Mirauda will be left with just a sliver of health. By the way, we don't have to be a mage to use this method. As long as we have this spell, our stats don't matter. Okay, we're set now. I'll do a jump cut, since there's literally nothing else for us to do but wait. The second poison effect just expired, so we can now finish her off with a Soul Ray. And we're done. Killing named Black Phantoms is that easy. We won't be using these methods for all 5 of them. There's one who can be easily killed with just the Soul Ray spell, and another whose perception is just too good, so we won't be able to approach him easily. Now we can use the Evacuate Miracle to return to the Nexus, store the Guillotine Axe we looted from BP Mirauda, and then move on to World 2.
Thank goodness, I was worried.
Okay, there's nothing else to do here, so let's teleport to 2-1. It will take a little bit less time to shift the world tendency to pure black in World 2, since we can just drop off the broken bridge at the beginning of 2-1, where the crystal lizard is. Oh, and there's one more thing we'll need to do in 2-1 once we get to pure black world tendency, before we go fight the named Black Phantom. Remember when I told you that Saint Urbane can teach us one more hidden miracle? In order to offer it to us, we'll need to kill a primordial demon. There's one in each world, but the one in 2-1 is the easiest and fastest to get to. But we'll still need the world to be in pure black world tendency, so I'll just go ahead and do the jump cut now. Okay, this should be enough. Let's return to the Nexus and then come back here. I'm not going to bother checking the world tendency this time. I'm pretty sure we are fine. The primordial demon is at the bottom of the first elevator we activated, so we just need to cross the bridge and get on the elevator to the right. This is the one I was talking about. And we can already see the demon down below. They're completely harmless, and the only way they can hurt us is if we stand directly in front of their mouth. One soul ray is all it took. Unfortunately, killing a primordial demon shifts the world tendency towards white, so we'll need to die a couple more times in World 2 before we can go fight the named Black Phantom. But before we do that, we might as well visit Saint Urbane and learn the recovery miracle. This will also unlock the Sage's trophy.
Oh, is that you? Do you have...
Here it is. Considering how many recovery items we have, it is absolutely useless. But the important thing is that we now have the Saint's trophy unlocked. We can now return to 2-1 and die a couple more times to bring back the world tendency to pure black. I didn't mean to teleport to 2-2. Anyway, I'll jump cut to when we are in pure black and are ready for the next Black Phantom. It turns out dying 2 times wasn't enough. I went all the way to the Black Phantom and he wasn't there. We probably had to die 3 times to shift it back to pure black, but I'll die a total of 4 times, just to make sure. Okay, now it should be good enough. Let's return to the Nexus and check out the world tendency. Okay, yeah, that's definitely pure black. So now we'll have to teleport to 2-2 and on the first fork turn right. We need to go to the cave where we found Scurver, because he's the named Black Phantom in World 2. It won't take too long. We'll ignore all the miners and drop straight down to the cave. We can't just dodge roll through these cars, and we should fall down on the platform below us. But I'll still try to be at least a little bit careful. It's not like we'll lose anything, even if we die here, but still. Okay, just one more drop, and we're at the cave's entrance. We won't need to use the Poison Cloud strat against Scurver. He won't be dodging our soul rays, and will constantly try to use miracles. So it's very easy to kill him quickly. Let's get our fresh spice ready. Didn't mean to use it, but whatever. We'll start off by just locking onto him and start casting soul rays. Once our mana depletes, we'll use the wall of the cave as cover while we replenish it with a fresh spice. Okay, perfect. He's already lost more than half of his health, so a few more casts will be enough. Great, we had just enough mana to finish him off. Now let's loot him and return to the Nexus. The Talisman of the Beasts is a unique weapon, which means we need it for the weapon trophy, but it can also be a pretty useful item. It is like a hybrid between a talisman and a catalyst, and allows the use of both spells and miracles. The next Black Phantom we're going to kill is in World 3, and I'm sure most of you have probably already figured out that it's going to be Lord Rydell. Bringing the world tendency of World 3 to pure black is very fast and easy. We just need to teleport to 3-2, turn around and drop down to the chapel where we fought the Fool's Idol. Yep, it's that simple. I'll be doing another jump cut and then we return to the Nexus and teleport to 3-1. And we're done. Let's go to Lord Rydell's Black Phantom now. He'll be right next to the cell where he was originally locked in on the second floor of the tower. Okay, we're nearly there. Just one more Mind Flare standing between us. Wow, he actually managed to cast his paralysis. Thankfully we one-shotted him, so it doesn't matter. In order to kill Lord Rydell, we'll need to use the Poison Cloud strat. He is very powerful, has great reach thanks to his phosphorescent bow, and the place we'll have to fight him is very cramped and small. Just like every other named Black Phantom, we'll need 2 casts of Poison Cloud in order to get him low enough to be able to finish him off with our Soul Ray. He's still got quite a lot of health left. I'm pretty sure he won't die from a single Soul Ray, so I'll slot our Soul Remains, just in case. We'll need them for the next Black Phantom anyway. Okay, perfect, he didn't even try dodging. Let's loot his phosphorescent bow, which is another unique weapon, and then return to the Nexus. Next, we'll be going to World 4. The Black Phantom there is Satsuki. Fortunately, he's right at the beginning of 4-1. Unfortunately, there is no fast and easy way to die in World 4. The fastest way I found is to drop from the cliff in 4-1 after going through the first gate. The skeletons are no help at all, since they're too weak to kill us quickly, and in fact may even hinder us a bit while we try to reach the cliff. It wasn't really necessary to visit Thomas and Baldwin, but since we're here anyway, might as well use our souls to buy some fresh spice.
You come back!
We're now ready to go to 4-1 and start shifting the world's tendency to pure black. Just like every other time, I'll show you where I think is the best place to die and then do a jump cut. Yeah, that's what I meant when I said that they may hinder us while trying to fall off the cliff. Okay, we're done. Now we need to return to the Nexus and then come back here. Remember when I said we'll need the Soul Remains when fighting Satsuki? It's because this is the only named Black Phantom we can't approach without aggroing even with the Grave Robber's Ring. Well, that's not entirely correct. We could teleport to the Adjudicator Arkstone and then go through 4-1 in reverse, so we can approach him from behind. Doing it like that will allow us to use the Poison Cloud strat. And using the Soul Remains is a pretty effective way to kill him. Okay, let's throw the soul remains and first deal with the skeleton. After we kill him, we can concentrate on Satsuki. The way this fight is going to work is we throw a soul remains, then cast a soul ray, then throw another soul remains, and repeat the cycle until he dies. The only other tip I can give you is to wait until he starts his attack before casting the soul ray. That way he won't be able to dodge it. Okay, it seems like he's still focused on the soul remains, so we should be able to finish him off now. And indeed we have. Black Phantom Satsuki drops a Hiltless. We already have one of those, so we don't really need it. After we return to the Nexus, we can store it at Stomas and then teleport to 5-2 for the last named Black Phantom.
Hello again.
There's nothing else we need to store. We should also max out our fresh spice again.
I can...
Okay, we're ready now. Shifting the world's tendency in World 5 will also take a little bit of time, but at least there are no enemies on the way to the cliff that could slow us down. But before we start shifting the world's tendency, we should go visit the body form of the Black Phantom we're about to kill. She is the only NPC we haven't visited yet, and she has some interesting things to say. Nothing too important, just some more bits of lore. But seeing as how we need to be in White World's tendency to meet her, this will be our only opportunity to do so. Getting to her is fairly easy. We just need to use the shortcut we opened and drop down from the cliff once we pass the fence separating the first and second zones of the swamp. There will be a couple of depraved ones on our way there, but that's really nothing we can't handle easily. Here's the fence. Once we pass it, we can drop straight down. We are not particularly high, so we will only take a little bit of fall damage. We'll of course get poisoned once we start moving through the swamp, but if we use a restorative or two at the appropriate times, we'll have just enough health to be able to finish our conversation with the NPC. Finding out where she is relatively simple. We just need to follow the fence until we reach a couple of islands with items on them. On the first island, we'll find a Dark Moon Grass, and on the second will be a Thief's Ring and the NPC we came here for. Here's the Dark Moon Grass. By the way, don't worry about picking up these items and then having no easy way to find this place again. There's going to be a candle next to her, so it will be easy to get back here once we shifted the world's tendency to pure black. Okay, we've picked up the Thief's Ring, so let's find out who this person is.
Why? You are one of the sane ones, are you not? I am Selen of the West. I seek my brother, Garl Vinland, the knight who accompanied Saint Astraea on her travels. I believe they settled here. If you happen to see my younger brother, please tell me. I must share with him the last words of our father.
So yeah, this is Garl Vinland's sister. Unfortunately, she came too late to save her brother.
This crest, that is a Vinland heirloom meant for my younger brother. So, my brother and Astraea have both strayed from the path of God. The poor souls. Perhaps their hearts were too pure. Mbasa. Oh, traveling warrior. I hesitate to ask, but can you part with that crest? Garl has strayed from the path of righteousness, but I wish to have the heirloom in honor of our Vinland blood. I shall reward you in kind.
We have no reason to refuse her.
Thank you, kind warrior. As Garl's sister, I express my deepest thanks for your honoring of his name. Please accept this. It was intended for my brother, but now it should belong to you. May the angels gaze favorably upon you. Umbasa. May the angels gaze favorably upon you. Umbasa.
Perfect. We had just enough health to last us until we finished talking to her, and we didn't even have to waste a restorative. Now we can just die 6 more times before coming back here and killing her Black Phantom. The Ring of Devout Prayer she gave us increases our capacity to remember miracles by 1 slot. We didn't need to get it from her, we'll be able to pick it up from another place in the near future. Now let me show you where to fall off from, and I'll then do another jump cut to when we're in pure black world tendency. Okay, we should be ready now. Let's return to the Nexus and then come back here and go to that island. Well, it doesn't really look as black as it should, but we did die 7 times, so we should be in pure black world tendency. Let's go check if the Black Phantom is there. It won't take too long to see if I did something wrong. By the way, keep in mind that since we are no longer in white world tendency, the enemies will have more health, so we won't be able to one-shot the depraved ones anymore. Okay, thankfully we are in pure black. Let's cure our poison, heal up, and then start casting our poison cloud. To be honest, I've never fought this Black Phantom without using this strat, so I have no idea how hard it would be to kill her without it. The spell has relatively short range. I'm using the debris on the islands as a way to tell if we are in range of her. Okay, we are done. 1 cast of Soul Ray probably won't be enough, but a second one should kill her. Good. Let's loot her and collect another unique weapon. After doing that, we can return to the Nexus and store it with Thomas. And this marks the end of our hunt for Black Phantoms. We are now in pure white character tendency and can go visit the Monumental to receive our ring. Here we are. Now if we talk to him, he'll give us the friend's ring.
Take this. It will be of help to you on your quest.
The friend's ring increases the damage we deal by 20%, but only while we're in soul form. So it can be a pretty good ring to use. I'm not going to use it, since I prefer remaining in body form, but yeah, it's a matter of preference. Anyway, we're done with the long quest of achieving a pure white character tendency and getting the reward for it. In the next episode, we'll have to do the opposite and shift our character tendency to pure black. We need to do that so we can meet the final NPC in this game. I know I said that about Selen Vinland, but this one is really going to be the final one. I think this is a good place to end the episode. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, please consider pressing the like button and subscribing to my channel. It will help me a lot and encourage me to bring more content for you guys. I'm releasing new videos daily, so hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow when we'll continue our journey through the world of Demon Souls.